Bedrock often seems like it's the new and corporate version of Minecraft, but it's actually almost as old as the Java edition itself. However, unlike the Java edition, which allows you to go back in time to any version, full release, snapshot, or even April Fools, the Bedrock version only gives you two options, latest release and latest preview, but somehow despite that, this is true. I just loaded up the Windows 10 edition beta 0.14.0, an update that came out a really long time ago, and I did it from a Minecraft launcher, and there are other updates available in there too. We're going to be going for a real blast through the past and showing you how you can get these updates too, because Minecraft Bedrock has one of the most striking differences between the old versions and the new, but let's dive into it today. First things first though, warning, if you are going to do this, make sure you make a backup first. As with anything that involves modifying files, you always want to be sure that you have backed up your game save. This is something you should do regularly with Minecraft, especially if you're ever going to uninstall or reinstall the game, because every time you do so, it deletes your save data. This is a wild feature of Minecraft, but it is in fact true, so keep an eye out for that, and I did precisely this even though I already had a backup, and then I downloaded the Bedrock launcher from their website. It was very easy, although it needed the latest Microsoft.NET runtime, and so after I downloaded that, and I actually needed another download, I was ready to check out this launcher, which is a neat application which lets you access different versions of Minecraft Bedrock Edition, along with some other features that kind of make it like the Java Edition tab from the regular launcher. To be clear here, this is not made by Mojang Studios, it is an unofficial community developed launcher, and just in case you're thinking that means it gives you free reign to pirate Minecraft, you still do need to buy the game as usual. No matter which version you go back to, it still uses the Microsoft authentication servers, so you need to make sure that you actually own the game, regardless of whether you're going back to a regular version or the preview. But with this launcher, you are able to access different versions of Minecraft Bedrock, allowing you to update or downgrade your version of the game entirely at will, something that you might just enjoy because the Windows Store kind of sucks. You might also like the other launcher customizations which are available here, and also finally, you might just want to downgrade your version of the game. The biggest use case for this being checking out older versions, which we'll be doing right now. Today's journey begins with the oldest version of Minecraft available in the Bedrock launcher, Pocket Edition, or I guess Windows 10 Edition Beta 0.14.0. There are older versions of Minecraft, several years of them in fact, but this is the oldest version which has been archived, and it's interesting because even though this is 8 years old, over 8 years old today, it came out in February of 2016, it is still a point in the game's history where it had overtaken the Java Edition in terms of sales and active players, but you can't tell that just by looking at it, because look at this menu. It's not the only part of this game that feels old and weird, but also when we go to the options, you can see that it's pretty basic. It feels like it's designed for a phone. If you imagine this video taking place on someone's phone, it's not a very far reach, and all sorts of weird options are available only here, such as multiplayer game, which is decided at the options menu-wide level, but also difficulty. It's not labeled, so you just have to know that this is peaceful, this is hard, and this is normal and easy. At least I think that. I don't actually know. Also, interestingly, third-person view wasn't an option in the game because Minecraft Bedrock and Windows 10 Beta is a port of that, was designed for the phone first. They didn't have space on the screen to display that, so they made it an option to switch between first, second, and third person. Very, very quirky if you ask me. We've also got all sorts of other controls that you might expect, which is, nice, it's customizable. We've also got all sorts of touch controls here if we want them. And finally, we've got the graphics where your brightness is set to 0 by default. Let's max that one out all the way. Also, you've got render distance, but it's unlabeled, so what does any of this mean? Let's work that all out later. And also, we've got some fancy graphics to enable, but I think we'll start the game with all of these turned off. Except view bobbing. I'm gonna have to turn view bobbing on. I just find it too horrific to feel like you're gliding around like a snake or a robot. That's not me. Let's start a new world in 0.14.0. Also, by the way, we also have skins. There were skin packs built into the game, and only 7 of them at this point in time. Compare that to modern day Bedrock, and it's kind of funny. We can also set a custom skin. Oh, I actually can do this. Let's pick one out right now. No. I think the formats must have changed because I'm getting a passive-aggressive message from Minecraft here. I'll try again though. Okay, I give up. I'll buy one of these skins, I'll become an ocelot costume, and I just have to pay £1.69. What happens if I try to buy? There's no way. Oh, wow. This is blowing my mind. You actually can buy things from all this time ago, and I'll quickly show you that now. The game is fully willing to let me buy this pack, and I kind of am curious as to what happens, right? Oh, well, never mind. I tried my best, but I didn't succeed. Anyway, now is the time that we have to go ahead and make a new Minecraft world. We could obviously play on a realm, except that's not in the game yet. That's coming soon. Interestingly, they developed realms for Pocket Edition, then they deleted it, and then they developed it again. The same is true for servers, which is interesting. You could never do that with a feature now. Just entirely remove it and say, it'll come back later. But yeah, let's make a brand new world. Ooh, this is odd. We'll call it New World. I'm very creative, and we're going to set it into survival, and in the advanced settings we can pick a seed, we can pick a world type, and honestly that's actually everything. I thought there'd be more than that. For every world that we create today, we'll be using the seed Everything. It's everyone's favorite, most iconic seed, and so this is what our world looks like with the minimum render distance, which is actually pretty decent. I was expecting a lot less. If we then do the opposite of this, so go back in here and set the render distance down to, or up to the max, let's see what the maximum render distance of Minecraft Pocket Edition was back in 2016. Ooh, yeah, we can see pretty decently. I would say, like, almost as far as an Xbox One, maybe? A little bit further than a 360. It's a decent range that we've got going on, and also there's a lot of sheep. I hope that they haven't added shears yet. Nope, they did. Oh, the punching mobs is so weird. Oh, that felt incredibly wrong. Also, the fist is super strong. This is something that has existed in Minecraft Bedrock for a while. So I can kill these sheep in just 3 hits, which is nice when you're using touch controls. And also, every block gets highlighted when you go over it, something I find to be very odd looking. Also, all of the textures are very, very old, and here is what first person looks like. My face is oddly lit up. And when we go to the inventory, you can see it looks mostly like today, just with this weird crosshair that vaguely follows your mouse around, but not quite perfectly. Do you see the crosshair I'm talking about? Honestly, outside of the mob behavior, the textures, the options, and the world generation, it's basically the same as right now, which is actually not saying very much. If you just ignore all the ways that it's different, it's mostly the same game. I guess there's also the world types, because back in this day, you could use the old world type, although it had some bugs enabled. Also, I'll be honest with you, I had far too much fun playing with Creative, where you start with a stack of each item, and I decided to build one of the most important things you can have back here in Old Pocket Edition, and I just noticed so many little oddities that I can't believe we put up with for so many years. Or, I say we. I was playing Console Edition happily at this time, but that's not always going to be true. What were you doing in my house? Because we're going to go into the next version today. We are now a couple of editions ahead with Minecraft version 1.0.0. This is the first full release of Minecraft Bedrock Edition. As you can see, the Windows 10 Edition beta has become Windows 10 Edition. This is still very different to the current Minecraft logo, both because it's a different logo, but also because it has that text underneath it. This was before Bedrock became the main version of the game as far as Microsoft was concerned, and you can see how they were slowly working towards that, with the buttons for the menu being replaced with these kind of less textured ones. They're very, very flat, and also the store having this new tag which will haunt us all the way through to current Minecraft. In the store, you can buy all sorts of things, from skin packs to texture packs to that one mashup pack. I believe a little bit after this, they released the Fallout mashup pack, and, you know, something, the rest is history. But we also have realms available settings. They wanted to monetize users for one of the most popular games they owned, and they were getting a little bit better at doing it. Also, they were getting better at menus. As you can see, this was very much an early build for what we currently still know as the Minecraft menu. I'm going to turn up my sensitivity a little bit, and also see what we have as far as anything else goes in here. Oh, it's real settings. It looks like regular Minecraft. We can turn down our GUI scale just a little bit to make this video more palatable to watch. And then we can also go back in here and sign in, I guess. Here's my only question. Will my current day skin work? No, it won't. Also, look, this is kind of like the current skin setting. There are no more skin packs available. Maybe this one's new, actually. But, yeah, otherwise it's pretty cool. I'm gonna go be Jesse for a bit now. I'm so sure I own at least one of these skin packs. But I must be wrong. Oh, this is also where we can first see our access to the achievement menu, and interestingly enough, the achievement menu from 1.0.0 is able to read all of the achievements in the game, which means it will be able to reference things that came out way after this update. So for example, it will say breed 2 pandas with bamboo, but if you look at the release date for this update and then the release date of Pandas to Minecraft, that would have been impossible, and still would be impossible if I play this version of the game. In fact, I wonder, could I earn achievements at all? What is the easiest one for me to get here? I might break Minecraft if I tried to do this, but I'm so curious what would happen. Smelt wood trunks using charcoal to make some more charcoal. I want to go find out right now. Oh, this is so weird. It looks like the current Create New World, but it's in the uncanny valley where it's just slightly off. Something is wrong here and I couldn't tell you what it is. But yeah, let's go into seed everything and let's see what we got. Well, this is a certified Minecraft Pocket Edition loading screen. Anyway, as you can see, the world seed looks more or less the same. There's still probably slightly too much grass, but not anywhere near as intense before. And also, if we punch the animals, everything is also going to be very, very wild and over the top there too. I think our fist damage has gone down based on the amount of extra hits it takes to kill an animal. But yeah, let's go in and let's smelt some trunks. Actually, you know, am I crazy or is there something different about the way that you mine blocks? The block kind of just pops out at you in a way that I wasn't perfectly expecting. Anyway, now we've got the cobblestone. Wait, no I don't. Oh, that was weird. Now I've got the cobblestone, I've got my furnace, I just have to go bring it back to some more wood. Oh yeah, guess who is only a short way away from a brand new achievement. Did I do it? Oh no. Our achievement's not enabled for old versions? I definitely did the thing. Please be proud of me, game. It's not proud of me. Oh, no, I just misunderstood the achievement. You've got to smelt more trunks using the existing trunks. So, use the charcoal to make charcoal is the actual achievement. Okay, I definitely did that. Is there any accomplishment? Is there... Oh. You know what? All of that false hope. I thought I just got something wrong, and it turns out I very much did. So let's go check the achievements, and let's confirm that there is in fact an achievement for something I did do that I cannot... Wait, no, it's not there anymore, is it? Yeah, we can confirm there is an achievement for something I did just do, but I didn't unlock it because I'm playing 2017 Minecraft. You know, it sounds pretty reasonable when you say it like that. You know what isn't reasonable? This old furnace texture. It just feels so old and outdated. Something which is hard for Minecraft to get right, to be fair to them. Here's the key question though. When you cook up the raw beef, what does it become? Okay, is it going to be steak or cooked beef? It's cooked beef. Okay, as always, beautiful addition to Minecraft. A key part of the defining legacy of Minecraft Pocket Edition. Anyway, with that said, let's move into the next edition now. And this is going to be one that means a lot to all my console homies. You know, I can't say homies. It just doesn't sound right in my accent. You know, we're not people who share a home. Unless that home is a console, I guess. I was about to say, like, wow, Minecraft looks so familiar now. But it's because I loaded up the current version by accident. Whoopsie. Actually, now that we've got the official launch of Minecraft Better Together, or the Bedrock Edition, and the third logo within the third version, I think it's worth asking, why were there so many changes to Minecraft Bedrock at this point in time? Again, these three versions were not hilariously far apart. All three updates took place in 2016 and 2017, and yet the menu has changed 3 times, the logo has changed 3 times also, and the entire way that you play the game has changed drastically too. What was going on with this version of the game that made it so different to Java, which basically had no changes? And the simple answer to that question was that when Microsoft bought Mojang, it was a huge game and cultural phenomenon, but their plan was to make it even bigger. They needed to make their $2.5 billion back for the purchase, and the easiest way that executives saw through that was to take the highest growth part of the Minecraft ecosystem, that being the Pocket Edition. It was selling millions of copies for only $7 a piece, so it wasn't hugely profitable, and so Microsoft thought, what if we could sell way more copies of that, and also work out a plan to better monetize it? So that is precisely what they decided to do, and that is why Minecraft Pocket Edition went from being a weird side version of Minecraft Java, which was developed in the same office, to having a huge studio. The Redmond office of Microsoft has hundreds of employees who work on the Bedrock Edition, directly or indirectly, and that is why this is kind of the corporate version of the game. Many of the decisions made here were made from the standpoint of, if you were going to develop a game as big as Minecraft from scratch as a major development studio, how would you do it? and some of these decisions are quite positive. They have a lot of accessibility features and access to things that are not found on the Java edition, but some of these are a bit more corporate. So for example, a version switcher is something you have on the Java edition. The reason that we have to find a third-party one for Bedrock is because they don't really see the value in providing that to people. Indeed, it allows people to go back to older versions where there isn't as good monetization or moderation, and so why would you want people to do that? Indeed, on the same level, there is a much better monetization of this game, because at the time that the Better Together version came out, 2017, games were expected to have season passes or DLC or microtransactions of some form, and so Minecraft got out pretty well in the grand scheme of that. Something that this game was leading the trend for, though, however, was the idea of cross-platform play. Minecraft Bedrock 1.2, the Better Together update, was a revolution in the games industry because it was the first time that PC players could play with iPhone players at the same time that an Xbox player was on the world at the same time. The idea of devices being a barrier between online play was being removed, and this was a really huge upgrade for everyone except for Xbox players, because although Minecraft for Windows 10 launched alongside the Java edition, both were and still are updated side by side. When they did a similar thing to the Xbox version of the game, they did not give people this option to give more players an incentive to switch over. They discontinued the Xbox One edition of Minecraft, and to this day it is known as Legacy Console Edition, because regular Console Edition is now just called Minecraft. This is the one version available everywhere, and it's universally a good thing, except if you're an Xbox player, at which point this is a addition of lots of features, but also the removal of many more. Keep that in mind as I show you 1.2.2. And I'm going to be as fast as possible when talking about this menu, because of course when it comes to the store, it's now been updated from not just selling all the Minecraft content, but also you can buy third party in there, and if you buy any of this third party content, you've got to do so using mine coins. Mine coins come in bundles, which are inconveniently not sized as well as the content that you get, so there's always a little bit left over there for Minecraft, which is absolutely wonderful. There is also this achievements menu, which, oh, wow, look, I got the achievement. Also, today's 420? Wow, I can't believe I messed that one up, huh? I got this achievement in an old version of Minecraft, so I hope I don't get banned for that. And also, here are the settings. It mostly looks the same as before, but the key and most important thing is my friends that I can play with are playable with on any version. I mean, any edition. I don't think I can play with this guy playing 1.20. Do you think he'll see my world back from 1.0.0 here? I kind of am curious at this point, actually. There is also servers. You can connect to these directly if playing on a PC or phone, but if you're playing on a console, you relied on these featured servers. This is because consoles can't direct connect to random servers on the internet, and so instead you connected to one that Microsoft approved. Obviously, they took a % cut in exchange for doing this, but you know, there's a lot of these like mild corporatisms in the modern day version of Minecraft, but there are also some improvements, especially if you weren't a console player, because to accommodate the new influx of Xbox players, they gave world preferences such as starting map or bonus chest. This is very, very nice of them. They also have, as you can see right here, the ability to type in your seed in a seed finder. This is fun. But interestingly, within the activate cheats section, you can see that there's quite a few fun things here. So I'll turn on creative for a second, and I'll show you that we can have show coordinates. This is because your coordinates used to be on maps on the console edition. We've got turn on daylight cycle, fire spreads, and TNT explodes, keep inventory, mob spawning, natural regeneration, all of these fun features which came over from the console edition. My skin still doesn't work, so I'm starting to think that it must be me doing something wrong. Although, speaking of doing something wrong, I'd like to point out this was the time where we could first see the number of chunks in our render distance going all the way up to a massive 60, and also for console edition players was the first time that infinite worlds existed. However, this was a bit of a blessing and a curse, because you couldn't choose to limit the size of your world. Oh, there's a big ravine here. I remember this actually from when the Better Together update first came out. This was one of the very first seeds I loaded up, so honestly I'm getting a bit of nostalgia from seeing this ravine appear right here. I believe also one of the new features they added, because this last 2 years of development was one of the craziest ones for Minecraft Bedrock Edition. As you can see, we've also got, what is this? Oh, that's just adding it to the side there. As you can see, we've also got the 4 tabs that we know today, including this very, very strange looking Totem and Dying. Looks very nice if you ask me. We've got the colored beds in here somewhere. We've got all of the features that were meant to come over from the console edition, minus the furnace minecart. RIP furnace minecart. Gone but not forgotten. But yeah, otherwise, this update was a blessing and a curse because it brought so many individual features. Things like, the things that you don't even think about as never existing, and honestly probably don't think about to this day. Stuff like the red never brick and the never warp block and polar bears and bone blocks. All of these weird niche features that had come out fairly recently on the Java edition and had made their way to console edition had to be ported over to Bedrock for this to work. But there was a very big catch, which is that the Bedrock edition did not take into account the idea that biomes should be smaller and the world should be smaller to make sure that performance was maintained. And so instead of running at a smooth 60 FPS and 720p, you were now able, or 1080p on the later platforms, you were now able to set your own performance effectively with render distance, which meant some people experienced a lot more lag. And we don't call it Bug Rock Edition for a reason. There are all sorts of bugs available in this edition, which you'll find as you go through. It's not a bad version of Minecraft, but it is one that comes with a whole host of just weird things, and I think those weird things can be best explained in 1.14.60, which is 12 updates later. And I know what you're thinking at this point. Wow, Toycat, you must have skipped so much of Minecraft's history. Between 1.2 and 1.14 on the Java edition is literally half of the game. But when it comes to the Bedrock version, there were lots of minor versions between 1.2 and 1.14 that they've never officially confirmed the reason why they did it. However, one of the neat side effects, maybe main effects, is the fact that it meant by the time that 1.16 came out, the version numbers were equal between both. And so between 1.2 and 1.14, only 2 major updates came out. It's just they split the parts into lots of other updates, which I think is interesting. Anyway, with that said, let's now reload our character because we're in the modern era as far as any content owned is concerned, which means I should officially be able to become the Toycat again. I mean, apparently not though. I think I'm happier being an avocado though, because this is 1.14, and as you'll recognize from the panorama, this is the Bedrock equivalent of Java 1.15, the Buzzy Bees update, and so let's go enjoy these new features. Right after I confirmed that online play is not rated, because Minecraft was starting to realize that again, in line with becoming a slightly more corporate game, they needed to protect themselves on a copyright level, but here I am in the Buzzy Bees update. So honestly, this might look a lot like its modern day Minecraft at this point, especially because this same seed we've been checking out in every version now has a village, and this village is to the current day standards. Wow, Village and Pillage update has come out, and therefore this is regular old Minecraft. Except there's still quite a lot of differences between here and the modern day version of the game. Even though this was just a few years ago now, we still are missing, notably, the cliffs. This was as high as mountains went before the update. It's kind of sad to look at them now. They were really just kind of big hills, but this was as high as terrain ever could go. Kind of sad, honestly, looking at it. But also, that means without the Caves and Cliffs update, that means we also don't have any caves. So if you look in caves, they're all kind of pre-update caves. I think that ultimately, there were just a few updates between here and the present, but even just going to the Nether will give you a big reminder at how much has changed. But every time you see one of these differences, you go, oh, wow, yeah, I forgot that they changed that, and now I've just accepted it as part of the game. This is what the Nether used to look like. It's kind of sad, although actually this is a cool Nether seed. Look at that. Love this Nether fortress. But there were no other structures in the Nether. It was just one biome and one structure. It's kind of wild to think that it used to be this way. I think the next change Minecraft's going to make that's going to feel like that is probably going to be an end update, but at this point in time, there was a caves, a cliffs, and a Nether update missing from the game, alongside the lack of a deep dark biome, and indeed any cave biome, and ultimately lots of things were missing. Although, it is worth saying that this is a great version to go back to if you would like to speedrun. If you're into the speedrunning world, this is a great version of the game to help you realize how different it was to try and beat Minecraft in a rapid time. Nowadays, it feels like logical that you can beat the game in less than an hour if you just know what you're doing and you have a decent seed. You can do it in half that time, but doing it back in 1.14 was a much, much harder affair, and it's worth mentioning that it's a really great way to actually see how much easier the Nether update made beating Minecraft. For better or for worse, going back to this version of the game makes it a real struggle, and I think that's really interesting. Also, I mean, I can't say this without just having a little bit of a note here, that actually, this is the last version of the game that I had a world record in. I was, for many years, I was the fastest Minecraft Console Edition speedrunner, and for a few hours, I was the fastest Minecraft Bedrock Edition speedrunner too, in this version of the game. I never could reclaim the record here, because villager trading, indeed, there was a lot of, villager trading was my speciality, but it was something which was much easier beaten after this update. So, sad, but cool. Also, 1.14.60 is notable because this isn't just a Bedrock version, which is interestingly different to Java, but also this is different to Java specifically by having the 0 at the end. This started a trend, which they would continue all the way into the modern day with the newest updates, and the reason they do this is so that when the updates came into parity with 1.16, they could easily tell apart 1.16, the Java update, and 1.16.0, despite the fact that you would just call both updates 1.16. It's a weird case of needing them to be called the same thing, but clearly needing to distinguish between them when necessary, which I think is fun. At this point in Minecraft's history, only a few years ago, Minecraft is already dating itself by immediately letting you know that there's Halloween content to download. As you all know, this video is being recorded in April, from that achievement at least, and that is the exact opposite side of the year to October, as best I can tell. But the interesting thing about this version is the fact that it's the last one where you can play with the old world type. So if we want to open up an old world, this is the last opportunity to do that. This is the last update where Minecraft Bedrock has unique generation. That is a very crucial thing, and it's also one of the first updates you can go back to and have a fully functioning marketplace, which means if you want to, you could download a brand new map like Kung Fu Panda from this version of the game. However, because this was saved for 1.20 or 1.21, it will not work back in 1.17, and even more interesting, even if you download a map which should have come out around this time, I took the 10 years of Minecraft map as an example, that would have come out in 2019, a couple of years before this update, it still will not work because it has since been updated, or at least that's my best guess. You cannot actually download anything, you can just pay for things, which is, beautifully Minecraft if you ask me. Anyway, let's stay a while and let's listen to the fun things about this version of the game, because as well as creating old worlds, this is the last opportunity to truly do that. This was the last version where you could get anything resembling small biomes in Minecraft Bedrock, but it's weird. So let's ignore the everything old seed and see it on the Infinite version instead. Right after I let Minecraft know that I'm really enjoying their game and they're going to tell me to go to the store to review it. And now let's go create a brand new world. And I think that this is going to shock you because this is the last time that Bedrock had a unique version of the world generation. And I think this is worth, clarifying on later. But for now, what I mean by it is the fact that this is very much a different generation to what you'd get if you loaded the same seed up on Java. And interestingly, a part of that is, as you can see, we have this old looking world, but with new structures built on top of it. So we have all of the new villages from Village and Pillage, as well as, of course, ruin portals and the new Nether from the Nether update. But then everything else in the world looks exactly the same as we've been seeing going all the way back to 0.13.0. This is the wild thing, right? We have gone through years of Minecraft updates. The game has gotten better in every conceivable way. The menu and everything has started to resemble what we know today. The video settings, this is exactly what we now know, right? There's nothing different here, except the world gen has remained identical. This is something which probably seems like a downside. I mean, there's no caves and cliffs update, or at least not the part that matters to most people, and so we have some cliffs, but they're not really. This is the best we could get as far as mountains are concerned, and we also, if we look at any caves, ignoring this ravine, which has started generating there, a couple of updates ago, you can see that, like, okay, we've got these caves, and these caves are the old style. I think that this is a beautiful version of Minecraft. I think that there is something to be said about playing Minecraft in this version too. It's the early days of the Nether update, but without the deepness of it. But what I think is even more interesting about Bedrock exclusive world generation is the fact that it works interesting on both angles. On the one hand, we have Bedrock features in this update which are not repeated in the present, which are objectively better than their Java counterparts. One such example of this would be Shattered Savanna Grass. Look how nice it is. It's beautifully green. It's one of the best parts of the savanna, and it's in the hilliest bit, so it's almost a reminder to come up here and get all the benefits of the savanna with all the beauty of the green grass. This was removed in the name of parity. Honestly, the list of features we lost to parity is kind of depressing. So there are features which are better than Java, because when they consider parity, they often consider whatever Bedrock has to be the weird and broken version. This is something I think Minecraft could learn from, but they haven't. But then we also have the opposite side, where features are objectively worse, but also they have a bit of charm, and I think that comes back to the old world type. Because while these worlds were limited, they were limited as a choice. I think this is the important thing to keep in mind when it comes to upgrading. When you force people to upgrade, some number of people will really like that, and some number will say, actually, I really liked it being harder that way. That's why so many people play hardcore, right? It's objectively just hard difficulty, but worse, except people love the challenge that comes with it. People love the self-limiting factor, and old world types had that to such a crazy extent. I remember you can still load up, by the way, old versions in current day Minecraft, but they're locked into this version of the game, which means that the world height, just like in the rest of Minecraft, pre-caves and cliffs, will only go up to 128 blocks in natural generation, except it's even worse because it's not just up to 128 in natural generation, because it went up to 256 quite a while ago if you play Java or Bedrock, but if you play old, then this happens instead. I don't know why it has to cover your entire screen. I really did only press that once, but the height limit for building is 128 blocks. Oh, here's another fun question. If the overworld is only 256 by 256 blocks, what do you think happens when I light a portal? Seriously, take a second to consider what's going to happen when I flint and steel this portal, or what's going to happen when I try to IF Ender in this end portal that I've just made myself, because the answer is you can't go to either of these places. There is no Nether, there is no end. Meaning, even though this is 1.17 and Netherite armor technically exists, I can put some on because I'm in creative mode. Looks weird on the bird, to be totally honest with you. But even though this is 1.17, there is no actual access to the Nether. There is a very limited number of diamonds, and this is one of the most restricted game modes you can play. However, one of the problems with this old world type is, in theory, that should mean that there's no access to the Nether and end, but in reality, it means I can tell you from my experiments I did during this era that it's very easy if you have access to commands to just, maybe use a portal block, and then for whatever reason, there's a full regular Nether just tacked on to your old world type. If you were to use creative, you could actually have a legit functioning Nether portal this way. I don't know why it works like that, but then you can't relight it yourself, but that is Minecraft for you. And then finally, what do you think happens when we try to go to the end? That's right, it's a regular end, just like the Nether. It's infinite, or is it? I actually tried to go to the edge, because I couldn't see the end islands and I was curious, and you know what happened? Oh, the end is limited! Whoa, that blows my mind! Okay, that's right, the end is still limited to 256 by 256. This is the messiest world type in my opinion, but there's also something so charming about a limited end. The end is just one island, your overworld is just 5 or 6 biomes, and you have to make that into something. And I think if there's one thing that Minecraft should learn from their own game, by the way, here's a fun question we'll ask while I talk about this. What do you think happens when we get to 128 blocks here, the ceiling of the world? Try and have your guess. But I think if there's one thing that Minecraft should learn from the success of Minecraft Console Edition and the fact that so many people played old world types, it's the fact that self-limiting is fun. Hardcore is a good start, don't get me wrong, but I think having limited size world types is one of the things that made Minecraft Console Edition great, and so having smaller biomes or larger biomes or higher structure counts or indeed limited world sizes is something that Minecraft could benefit so much from adding. Even if they have to have the little option to later make it infinite, having more ways to customize your world type would be wonderful. And it would be a better dichotomy than we have right now, where they basically say, play regular Minecraft or download a map from the marketplace if you want one so bad. I think that Minecraft needs to acknowledge that there is more creativity that comes from these limited world types, not least from the creators of those same marketplace maps. The reason that I made Ultra Flat, which I think is the best way to play a flatland survival, is because I was so inspired by the super flat survivals of Minecraft Console Edition, and that's why it's a limited world type. I think that there are many other creators I've spoken to have a similar thing where they make limited size worlds because that is just what they, that is something they played and which really inspired them when making their own stuff, and that's something Minecraft should realize is important. You can't just have, marketplace creators in the abstract. You need to inspire them and give them more tools in the base game. And I think also if that happens to benefit the rest of the community, that'd be pretty nice too, huh? Anyway, this has been 1.17.40, the Caves and Cliffs update, part 1. And what we're going to do from here, let's go absolutely crazy, right? I'm about to go to a Minecraft version that is so old that if you remember it, you'll be entitled to a veteran's discount. This is a version of the game that all of my fondest memories come from, and honestly, it's a version of the game that you might not even know, but I'm gonna reveal it to you anyway right now. 1.20.73. Do you remember the good old days? This was back when there were no armadillos or wolf armor. I know it's hard to imagine a Minecraft without those things, they've been in the game so long, but 1.20.73 is a minor hotfix update that came out on April the 1st of 2024, and I have so many great memories in this version of the game. Let's load up the world and show you its generation, because as you can see, to take things a little bit more seriously, this is now the full modern Minecraft generation. Ever since 1.18, Minecraft Bedrock has not had a unique generation, instead duplicating Java's perfectly. In fact, the most interesting thing to see about this whole journey is how Minecraft Bedrock started out as this weird thing, like playing Minecraft Windows 10 Beta really did feel like you were playing Minecraft Pocket Edition but illegally on a PC, whereas now it feels like one of the natural ways to play this. In fact, I think the number of PC players who have access to Java and Bedrock but play the Bedrock Edition is going surprisingly up, and the number of people who play both, which I think is probably the logical thing to do, that number is also going up surprisingly, because Minecraft Bedrock feels like a polished and finished game here on the PC version. It is something that I think they are slowly working towards, at least on the Xbox family of consoles. I'm sorry for PlayStation and Switch people, it's going a little bit poorly by comparison over there, but yeah, looking at the generation in this version, it is now full regular Minecraft. But another interesting thing to say about these years of history is not just how parity has really started to hit over these last 6 or 7 years, but it's also the fact that Minecraft updates really don't feel like they're ever that massive at the time, but looking back you can see huge evolutions that happen, and then sometimes fairly minor ones. I think that even though the last couple of updates have felt fairly minor by themselves, the gap between 1.17 and the present day is actually quite huge. Every year Minecraft is making some very huge changes, and although not every single one of those is massive at the time, some of them make huge differences in the long run, even though those aren't the features that we necessarily cared at the time they released. And this is the fascinating thing about using, I guess, perspective to help you learn more about history in any sense of the word. It's something I really tried to do personally in my own life too, is every single day there is something that feels like it's the most important thing, but ultimately it rarely is. There are lots of things which are important on a day-to-day level, but really unimportant on a year-to-year life level, and there are lots of important life goals and things that you want to aim for over a much longer time span that are much harder to see the value in day-to-day. Ultimately, I think one of the best tools for kind of helping you with this is Minecraft itself, but I guess staying motivated could be a whole nother topic for a whole nother time. But the important thing to take from this video is I hope that you've enjoyed our dive through the Minecraft updates. Let me know if there's one that feels particularly nostalgic to you, and it might be fun to go back in time and do something with that. For now though, do keep in mind that if you are going to use the Bedrock launcher, it is very hard to install. In fact, the uninstall section of the website just says, yeah, we don't have an installer, so there's no way to uninstall, just delete the files maybe, and it does mean that you might get access to some new versions and some new previews slightly slower than directly from the store. It is a very great tool, but it is one that I would not recommend to most people, but I would recommend that Minecraft makes some version of this, even if it is only for some select versions, even for some specific amounts of time, even if they have to do it via the marketplace, because the marketplace supports older version emulation. Why not allow players to go back in time and see the heritage of Minecraft Pocket Edition? It might really help a lot of people realize how far Bedrock has come, which might help counteract some of the Mojang lazy arguments that you see, because clearly there has been a lot of work done over these years, and I'm looking forward to seeing you over the work done over the next few, both in Minecraft and the updates we'll cover on this channel, but also personally in my world. I hope that you enjoyed today though, because I'm gonna see you next time. Goodbye.